there are some really simple ways that you can begin to cultivate healthy connections, regardless of where you are in your healing process. So, like we were talking about in the last video, connecting can be somewhat heavy, it can be complicated. You're dealing with a lot of problems. So in this video we're going to be talking about ways that you can start to be nourished by those connections. And we're going to be looking specifically at 5 avenues that are really great for nourishing yourself with the connection to life. The first avenue is food. The second one is art. The third one is finding allies. The fourth one is outside time. And the fifth one is devotion. So starting with food. As I mentioned in our last video, a lot of the circumstances around our food are pretty dysfunctional. Food has a natural capacity to connect us, but if we are ignoring the circumstances around our food, we're essentially saying that it doesn't matter if someone else is harmed for me to receive this. And as soon as you do that, you're denying your connection. You're denying that your thriving is their thriving is your thriving. The earth's thriving is your thriving. Your thriving is the earth's thriving. So by paying attention to the circumstances around our food, we start to receive that connection that is naturally there. The main factors to consider in choosing food that's going to have you feel that connection are whether something is healthy for you, whether it's healthy for the planet, and whether it's healthy for everyone else involved, all the other people. So for example, eating local foods is more sustainable because there's less waste, less transportation. It also means that the land didn't used to be an indigenous people's rainforest. It's less likely that you're putting money into a funnel where a small number of people are supported in hoarding habits, while a huge number of people are not able to support their families. So, and also it's more nutritionally dense because it's fresher. So you can begin to see how these 3 components are intertwined. They tend to go together. Things that are ecologically sound generally are also socially just. Things that are socially just and ecologically sound are usually going to be the healthiest for you. So things to consider when you are choosing your food. Eating local and organic, growing your food when you can. Going heavy on the vegetables, light on the fruit, grains, meats, and dairy, because vegetables are the most sustainably grown. You want to stay away from processed foods altogether. Have potlucks. Plan your meals so that there's less waste, and compost your scraps. If you are living in an urban area where you can't compost, or you can look into community gardens that accept compost, or worm bins where you can compost your own vegetables with little worm farm. Next, let's look at art. So art could be performance, it could be clothes, it could be architecture, it could be music or movies. Art is a way that we can connect to each other even if we still have huge protective walls. This can be by creating music or dancing or painting together. It could be by creating art yourself. It's really powerful to share pieces that you've created, but even if you don't feel comfortable doing that or you don't feel a desire to do that, you're still accessing a creative flow that connects us all. And appreciating someone else's art is also a way of letting yourself receive nourishment and feel related to others in a way that's also safe, emotionally safe. So finding allies. Finding allies means finding people who are also pursuing reconnection. We have a tendency to be in feast or famine in relating with people. We either isolate ourselves or we put up walls so that even if we're with people, we're not really connecting honestly. So I want you to, so we either are isolating ourselves Or on the other end of the spectrum, we have a tendency to become codependent, where, we're needy, we are easily hurt if somebody wants to be doing something else or isn't behaving the way we need them to behave. So I want you to explore what it looks like to balance your personal relationships with all of the other ways of nourishing yourself. And to think about, when you are seeking nourishment in your personal relationships, come at it from the perspective of honesty, like being really real, and go for quality over quantity. So the fourth avenue is going outside. It's not more complicated than that. Going outside is so good for you. You are literally plugging yourself into the rest of life. You're breathing in air that is being breathed in and out by all the other people and animals and plants and the earth itself and the water, and being particularly being barefoot on the earth actually plugs the body's electrical system into the earth's electrical system. So you're literally aligning your energy system with the earth's energy system. You're plugging yourself in, and that's going to have you feel super connected. And then the last avenue that I want to talk about is devotion. This is, of course, a very personal topic. It can take many forms depending on what you feel called to. It may look like prayer or making a list of what you're grateful for. It could be in the form of meditation or service. It could be in art. This is really, when I'm talking about devotion, I'm talking about any activity that makes you feel directly connected to the energy that moves through everything and is pulling towards well-being. You can call it life, you can call it God, you can call it love, you can call it basic goodness, whatever works for you. If you have no idea what I'm talking about, then I suggest that you start with meditation. That means sitting still and quiet and not giving your thoughts your attention. So thank you so much for joining me for this video series. This was the last video in our little training series. What I covered in this video series is really the outline for the program that I'm offering, the Reconnection Mastermind, that starts in February. If you're interested at all in learning more about what we've talked about in these videos, you can check out the link below, and feel free to ask me questions. I look forward to hearing from you.